Big match coming up. You've been involved in some frustrating cup exits during your time at United. How determined are you to kick on and make your mark in this competition?
Yeah, no, obviously we're going into this game with the mentality of winning it. We want to go through, and but it's a game where we want to go there and perform. We know it's going to be a tough game, but yeah, of course we want to perform and win the game so we can get a good result for the second leg. And obviously every time you play in a competition, you're there because you want to win it. And like you said, we haven't managed to do that in the past, but hopefully we can perform a bit better this season.
James Cooper.
Hi, Victor. The manager's talked about you playing in some discomfort, and you've talked about the back. I'm just wondering, A, how that is, and we're talking about goalkeepers all the time at the moment. Does it make any difference who plays behind you when you've got two good goalkeepers like David and Dean?
I feel very comfortable with both of them. I think every time they play, they're performing at a very high level. So we have great goalkeepers, and I think that's always good for a team that you have that competition.
James Wonder.
Oh, and my back. I've been having some problems, but I feel okay. I managed it in a good way, and I feel much better than I did before.
James Wonder.
Victor, Harry Maguire played his 100th game for United against Brighton. How do you feel that partnership's coming together between yourself and Harry, and where do you feel like you're at with your game at the moment?
No, I feel fine. We've been playing a lot of games together, and the more you play together, the more you get to know each other as well. And I think we've been performing well, and we've been keeping some good clean sheets as well against some strong teams. And I also feel like I'm performing well at the moment. I feel fine. I feel fresh, and I'm just happy that I'm able to play and help the team.
I've got no further hands up for Victor, so we'll move on to the manager. Thank you, Victor.
Hej då.
So we'll start with Simon Peach for the manager.
Hi, Ollie. We've seen Marcus train this morning and named in the squad. Is he fit enough to start? I'm not sure what the issue is exactly, and I'm sure this won't be the first question you get on this, but who will be in goal for you tomorrow night?
I can't disclose the team now, of course. We're not going to do that. But Marcus is traveling, and we've just got to make a decision tomorrow if he starts or if he's on the bench. He's definitely, or I don't think he'll be a 90-minute man. So let's see where he's at tomorrow. And with the keepers, that's the same. I've got two very, very good options, and whoever plays will play well, I'm sure.
James Cooper.
Hi, Ollie. I'm just wondering how tricky Granada are. I mean, Manchester United go into that game as favourites, but that's not uncommon. And have you spoken to friends at Mulder for a bit of intel about their strengths?
I watch the games, of course, and I've spoken to some of them, some good insights and good info. Of course, we've analysed them ourselves and we watched the last few games as well. And it's a team full of experience, unbelievable character and spirit, which you expect from teams that come up. They got promoted in summer 2018, did a great season, and or was it 18-19? Great season 19-20, and this is the second season, and even I think they're one of the teams in Europe that have played the most games, and to do that at this level so early has been impressive, and we know it's going to be a battle.
Samuel Luckhurst.
Hi, Ole. Ahmad scored an excellent goal in the last round against AC Milan. There's a lot of excitement about him. Is he any closer to a first start for the club?
Yeah, of course he is. He's getting more and more used to our expectations and standards and the training, the level of the intensity in the games over here. So he did well when he played 45 minutes against Milan, definitely bright start, and we're gradually gonna see him play more and more and a start might come now, it might come in a little while.
Frederick Philbitz.
Ola,
Hi.
when it comes to resting players, will this game be a chance for you to rest certain players, and how do you decide when a player needs a rest?
You know, we always pick a team, no matter who we play against, we pick a team to win that one, that we feel is good enough to win this game. Of course, this game is just the first half of the leg. So there's 2 games. We've got league games coming up, big games as well. So that's always a conundrum and always a thought process on who's fit enough, who can last 90 times 2, 3, 4, 5 on the bounce, and who needs to have a rest in between to perform at the highest level. Everyone can do it, but in what way does it affect your performance for the next one? And we always have a check in the morning of the game, how everyone's feeling.
Laurie Whitwell.
Hi, Ollie. Mason scoring with his head against Brighton was a nice development. I know you mentioned Cavani might have helped him on that, but he said he'd been working on it quite a lot in training. I just wondered, could you give us any insight into how you go about, aiding someone's heading and sort of why that was important for him?
Well, I think if you look at players and you look at the news now and the issue with dementia and too much heading, I think kids nowadays train less heading than what we used to do. Also with the AstroTurf, the coaching is very, very on the ground dominated. Norway, here, academies. And you don't see many Ronaldo-like headers, from against Roma. 1, 2, 3, hang up their head. That's the rare player now who's got that skill. Mason's goal was more of a poacher's instinct, that he made a sharp movement, and it's not like he hung in air like a salmon. And but I was very pleased that he did hit it and he scored. And he's practicing from crosses. But we've got to be. We've got loads of things to think about when you practice finishing. It's not just heading, it's right foot, left foot movement. It's all sorts. But Mason has improved his awareness, movement in and around the box, and that's also due to Edinson being at the club, because he is one of the better ones to make those centre forward movements.
Angel Mengibar. Angel, would you like a question? No? Okay, we'll go to Chris Wheeler.
Hola, buenas tardes, ¿qué tal? Yo quería preguntarle al míster si le ha sorprendido quizá que un equipo como el Granada, debutante en la Europa League, consiga derrotar a equipos a priori superiores o con más experiencia en Europa como el Molde y el Nápoles, y si también conocía al Granada Club de Fútbol antes de cruzarse en esta Europa League. Gracias.
No, not surprised at all. It's unbelievable how much attitude, desire, team spirit, values how much that can do for a team, for players. And, they're very good at and better than most on the things that don't cost anything, which is just what I'm talking about. And I mean that as a compliment, because I think the value of a team spirit, camaraderie, organization is so important for a team. But then also they have the individual quality in a few players and experience in a few players that will have been very important for them. But in football, you're never surprised when teams that get promoted do well, because they get promoted for a reason. It's quality and the team spirit and morale in the squad and the manager's values.
Chris Wheeler.
Yes, hi Ollie. Have you got an update on Anthony Martial and Eric Bailly? And also, can I ask you, you've beaten 2 quite big clubs to get to this point. Is complacency a concern going into the game tomorrow?
Eric is still in Ivory Coast. He needs a negative test before he can come back. So he's still, we're waiting for that one. Anthony has started his recovery, and if we see him before the end of the season, I'll be very surprised. But of course, he's determined to come back as quick as he can. And because there's important games for us towards the end of the season, and there's the Euros. So he's already come in. He's bright around the place. Disappointed he can't help us now, but of course he wants to work to get back as quickly as possible. And complacency, no. When you beat Real Sociedad and you beat AC Milan, you just get more the taste for it. And you know that you've beaten and you've jumped a couple of very high hurdles and difficult opposition. And Granada, beating Napoli, going through in the group, beating Molde last time is of course a sign of a team that's got quality, and it's going to be a difficult game. We have set our eyes, of course, to get to the final and improve on last season, and we want to win this tournament.
Paul Hurst.
Hi Ollie. David's obviously been the club's number one for quite a long time. How did he take that news on Sunday that he wasn't starting against Brighton, and what does he have to do to get that regular place back at the weekends?
I cannot prioritize league, Europa League. Every game here is the most important one. The next one is the most important one. And every time I try to explain to players why they don't play in this particular game and what they need to do and what my plans are with them. So all those discussions remain private, of course. And David's been a top keeper, and he's still a top keeper, and he's working to be ready when he plays. And if it's Dean, David, I'm very comfortable with both of them to play, and I'm very happy that none of them are happy to not play.
Ivan Holt. Ivan, are you there? Just if you unmute yourself, Ivan.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Hi, Ola. Can you say whether Anthony Elanga will be involved tomorrow and a bit on his development?
Yes, Anthony will be on in the squad. He'll be on the bench. He's impressed when he's been in training with us. He was very unlucky, say 2 months back, or maybe even 2.5, 3 months ago, when he got a bad injury, and he's worked really hard to come back because he was just due to move into the first team squad back then. He's got some X factor, some attributes that it's not like a gift, but he's got, you know, the pace and the acceleration and speed that he's got. That's a given for wingers, and when he's got that speed, he's always got qualities that I like. He's a goal-scoring winger. He's confident. He likes to beat men. He can finish with his right foot, left foot, and he's got a great attitude. His appetite and hunger to improve. And when he's been training with us the while he's been here now, he's not been fazed by it, and he's been confident. So he is not there just for experience. He's there to be ready to play a part if he has to.
Alex Howell.
Hi, just wanted to ask how important this game is for United. Could you say it's possibly the biggest of the season?
Oh, it's very big for us, of course. You know the cliche that the next game is always the most important. That we have to live by that principle. If you get a chance to play in a quarterfinal in Europe for Man United, every player know that this is a massive game and it's an important game for you. And for me as well, I'm the manager, and I know that. Of course, it's just the first half in a two-leg affair, but it's a big game for us. We have beaten Milan away, we have beaten Real Sociedad away, which have given us the foundation to go through, or we've drawn both against both of them at home in the second leg. So we know how this game can give us even more momentum.
Dominic Dietrich.
Hi Ollie, you okay? I just wanted to ask, when you come up against a side like Granada in the Europa League that you might not know as much about as the teams you play sort of week in, week out in the Premier League, is it quite a fun challenge as a coach?
It's the Premier League, you watch games every weekend and you sit and you enjoy it, you watch match of the day and you just sit back and relax and you get a picture of the opposition. And then you analyze really tight or closely when you're going to play against them. Granada, I have to say, I've not seen them too many times before Molde played them. But when Molde played them, of course, I got interested because we might meet them and watched them against Real Madrid and Barcelona, the big games, and I've been impressed by everything about them. You know, they got promoted, then had a fantastic season last season. Then this season, you see they're up there and they beat Napoli, and you start to open your eyes a little bit. You think you have an idea of what you meet, but then you analyze them, and it might be a little bit different. And they've got some strengths that other teams don't have. They've got an X factor in many ways that you wouldn't expect.
Sorry, we won't have time for all the hands that are up, so we've got 2 more questions. The first from Mike McGrath, and we'll finish with Per Carlson.
Hi, Ollie.
Hi.
With your 2 goalkeepers, do you see a healthy dynamic and relationship in training and between them pushing each other? Is it a slightly different dynamic to, say, Peter Schmeichel, who was always number 1?
You know, when you're a part of Man United, and there's always going to come players in, and players who come in, they don't just come there to fill the bench or to fill the squad. Everyone's got ambition to take your shirt. I was there myself as a striker. We signed Ruud, we signed Diego Forlan, we signed Luis Saha, we signed loads of top strikers, Dwight York, Teddy Sheringham. The aim for me then is to prove to the manager that, okay, I don't mind you signing these, but I'm still important for you. I'm still going to give everything I can to play. And it's the same, right back, left back, centre forward, goalkeeper. David has had 10 fantastic years at Man United. Of course he has. And he's had challengers who always, of course, they want to play. Sergio, he probably played less games than he deserved. Dean comes in. He also gives it his all and best, because everyone wants that place in the team. David does as well, and it's a healthy competition. Of course it is. The nature of football as well, and the small call it the goalkeeper departments, they get they're a very tight-knit group, and they work together in prep. They have different gym sessions, they have individual sessions, they stay together more. So naturally they create a bond, and the spirit in the goalkeeper department has been top. But as you say, it's a healthy competition, and both of them, or all of them, want to play. That means that's the same for Lee Grant, and it's for Nathan Bishop, Sergio Romero. They want to play. So, and that's a competition I like.
So last one for Per Carlson.
Hello, Ola.
Hi.
One on Marcus Rashford. He has been really important for you this season and playing in almost every game. But in some games, it has looked like he has played through pain, and you can see him struggling after going off against Brighton. So I just wonder, with his injury record and the back problem he had last season, are you worried overplaying him can cause another serious setback, or is the risk worth more than a potential prize?
I don't pick players when we know there's a risk. Of course, there's always a risk when you step onto the pitch and when you play football. But if the physios and the medical advice is that this is too much of a risk to play him, I'll never ever play a player that we in advance know about. And if it's gonna make it worse, or if it's a serious one. Now, Marcus joined in training this morning. Let's see how he reacts. If there's any risk of making this worse, I'm not gonna overplay him. And his back has recovered, but he's a tough one, and he wants to play. He wants to give his all for Man United, and it's also a responsibility for the player and tell us so, as he did on Sunday. Said no, it's too sore. I've got to come off.